If you can master this one setup that presents during the New York Open, trading off of VWAPs with the overall trend, that's how you're going to be able to scale yourself and scalp your way to a payout. I just made some videos on it recently. But we're on a nice streak to start the year, up $900 today across two trades. So I want to jump into both of those, but also just why I took it, because the first one's going to look a little bit different if you've seen my trades or any other videos. If you notice the time, it's 9:37 in the morning. So only 7 minutes into the New York session. I often don't find my best trades until like 15, 30 minutes after. So I want to let this 15-minute opening range set, and we're only halfway through it. But you'll see why I liked it so much, to convince myself to get in it, right? Could I have gotten burnt? Sure. And then I would remind myself, that's why you wait. But I've been feeling good. This setup's been presenting really well. So let's look at the pullback to this overnight view up. That's from black line from the previous day's changeover of day, right? So at the start of a new session. That's with buyers in control, retest, and this blue one is anchored from today's New York. So buyers are strongly stepping in. Now, again, if you've seen some of my videos, I like to trade back into structure, right? I'm waiting for a pullback, in this case lower, to go trade back higher to where we just were. In this case, when it does take New York VWAP, it's very strong. I mean, the high is like right there. That's just not really an appealing trade for me, but it is the candle that we got. So I just saw the next two candles coming down as not, okay, good thing I didn't buy it, but oh, this is giving me a little bit better of a price. Same stop loss at the bottom of range. Let's go trade this trend higher, because I've been bullish all week. We'll take a look at the 15-minute in just a second. And I'm scalping it up with the momentum. I'm not holding this on forever. And you can see it actually does come back a little bit lower when we get into the other markups, that just finding a nice quick winner above both VWAPs, riding with the trend. Now, before we get into the later trade that we took on stream, so for anyone that doesn't know, I'm live every morning on AceFX TV, which is where my full strategy is available for free. That's where you'll find the bounce plays, the break plays, but then we're also trading it live every single morning here. So if you click the link down below, you guys could all get your first month free. But the reason I loved it so much to take it before the open range is setting is, let's look at every day this year. It's only been 4. Friday, we get the same bounce off this black overnight. Buyers take New York view up. So notice how much more room there is to that high compared to today. I said there wasn't. And we're in line with that 15-minute trend clearly being higher highs and higher lows. I made videos on this. We're just going to go through them pretty quickly, because you don't really need to deep dive into it. If you've seen the strategy, you will understand is that the move down isn't getting me into shorts. It's retesting that overnight VWAP. But let me wait for buyers to step back in. Here they are on the break above New York. Plenty of room back up to those highs. It takes a while, but stop loss at low of day at the bottom of that range. Still trading higher highs, higher low, higher high. So just following the trend. That's back-to-back days on a Friday and a Monday. Now let's go to Tuesday. The first trade that I didn't take, well, that's the first one I did take. This one I didn't take, but it's the same idea. Bounce off this overnight VWAP, break above New York, and I didn't take it because look at the lack of room to that high, to the structure to the left. So I didn't love that. So we missed it, but you can see how well it is working. I took 2 other trades that day, but that's in another video, so you can go check that out. That was posted yesterday. Now, so today, the reason I like the long is same bounce off this black VWAP. Buyers take New York. Let's go trade higher. So I just felt, you know what, I can get in before the open range is set, because it's been painting every day. That if I lose, I don't think I'll be mad at myself, because it's just been so clean, so reliable, so consistent. Let's take a swing at it, right? And if I lose, we'll reassess and we'll find another trade later on. So that was the first early going of things, and then we take a look at later on. So I hit max profit on that one account. Now, this is again on NQ. Here's the trade that I took. It bounces for a new high. In my Futures 2.0 strategy, you guys will all see I don't want to chase the first break of open range high. That's right here, all of this, first break. It just doesn't really run from there, but buyers are in control. Clearly, I took a long earlier. So it pulls back to New York, which is the blue one again, and buyers defend it. Maybe here's our higher low. Buyers are back in above it, just like I waited for them to get back above it back here, right? So same game plan, and I'm hoping it moves with speed. It doesn't really, but doesn't really invalidate the trade. That I have a stop loss at the bottom of range. So I love just the protection of this, that I have the New York VWAP, the overnight VWAP, and open range low. All have to be hit for me to lose this. And then I'll be getting a lot of new information to say, yeah, you shouldn't really like the short or the longs. Let's flip our bias. So as it just stalled here, it's not making a higher high. I know many people would probably be afraid of, oh my God, look at the lower highs on top. This can't move higher. I don't read price action like that. I'm reading trend underneath. If I'm looking for longs, I still need to be making higher lows, which we are. So any lower high you think you see in here gets taken out, and then where'd it go? right? So I can't let that scare me out of a trade, because as long as we're building bullish structure underneath, I think that was the same thing on Tuesday's trade. Or no, it was Monday's trade when it was a little bit slow. People were afraid of this. Oh my God, lower highs. Underneath, I'm long. Higher lows underneath still. Buyers are still in control, right? So keep that trick in mind. That's how I read the trend and not get suckered out of a trade too early. Now you can see this other arrow here I actually did add in as it made another higher low. And respecting that New York, I'm saying I'm loving this trend. It's been bullish all week. I made money earlier on the longs. This isn't invalidating my price. It's not just slicing through these VWAPs. Let's add it back in. So you can see the negative risk reward here, big time. But since I've added in, it's a nice little win because I've put a little bit of extra risk on. Same stop loss down below. Took 2 of 3 off here. And then I don't know exactly where the exit was. I think it was a 2-minute trail, so it wasn't really that low. I think it was somewhere along there, just because it's slow grinding. I'm already up on the day from the first trade. And I have another markup here where this is where you would have gotten stopped out if you weren't already. And then what does it do? Bounces off the same New York VWAP where the longs were earlier. So I talk all about it on my VWAP strategy, all of these YouTube videos. What's the price that paid? I don't chase breakouts. I want price after a pullback. So close to this VWAP. You catch a nice pop there, a nice pop, a nice pop, and the nice pop. Now you're not going to beautifully, cleanly, perfectly trade all of those, but what's the pattern? Where's the price that I should have or wanted to be long at? It's around that blue line. That's where higher lows like to be formed. So if I could see us respect that level, and I think I have a clean read on trend, that's where I want to be involved. So just super clean trading so far to start the week, to start the year. And you can see just how consistent Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday so far have been. I think I have one loss, and it was yesterday, which I made a video on. But it's overall repeatable, the same things over and over again. Now let's go back to the markup here. And you'll see it on NQ. But something I also wanted to show on ES. Well, actually, I didn't take a trade in the afternoon since I already was done in the morning, but look at that afternoon. Well, the longs didn't really disappear, didn't make a new low a day, but they disappeared. I mean, that's just a nice sink. Falling low, I think ES was even uglier for new lows of days. So we can go into it. It's all on ASFX TV that you look at the longs here at the open on ES, looking nothing like my NQ. Made another video on that of what's the better asset to trade. Today, I'm going to stand behind NQ. It was textbook, perfect, clean, beautiful. ES was not. But other days, it'll be vice versa, and you'll find cleaner setups on ES. So that's why I read both of them, and I choose the prettier looking one so I can get the higher probability and the cleaner trend. But something to look at here on ES, we can go just to the 15-minute to see things. That's for the week, since it's already Wednesday. Something I like to look at is the opening week's range, and you can see which asset is it on. I guess we could just do ES here. That if we mark off the Monday low and Tuesday's high, that's the opening week range. So Monday's down here, and let's put on our Tuesday high was way up here. So here's our opening week's range. It's just Monday and Tuesday's high and low. And you can see we broke out of the upside today this morning. So there's our first break of the opening range. It's to the upside. It's kind of like the initial balance, right? If you see my other videos, that we probably don't double break this range. So it's pretty much telling us here on ES that we probably don't make another stab at the low of week, aka 6,900. So yes, we could have a bearish day tomorrow, something like this, but I just wouldn't expect it to last forever all the way down to 6,900. So maybe we'll see some buyers step in around there. And for that, you can go over here to Edgeful and just see this opening week's range. This is on ES in the past year. 20% of the time it breaks the high and the low, right? So 20% of the weeks. So it is 10 weeks, but 10 weeks out of the year has it broken both the high and the low, where 50% of the time, pretty much, it breaks just the high since it's been a bullish past year. But just keep that in mind as you look to see what does Thursday. It's more so going to be used on Friday of saying, where are we to end the week? Are we close to one of these lines? Because I don't think this bottom one wants to be engaged with. Maybe I could trade away from it. But overall, that was a nice, beautiful Wednesday. Nice week, like I said. Make sure you check everything out down below, the links that you need. Hopefully I'll see you on stream. The boys are crushing it. Austin's on his pre-live account, taking daily payouts. Randy took another one, I think, as he does every Monday. I took mine to start the year, and hopefully I can gear some more up with how well we're trading so far to start the year. Again, it's only been a month, but 4 days of trading, 5 wins, 1 loss, $2,500. Profit factor is going crazy because of the 1 loss. But just stick around, ask some questions, go through the strategy. Hopefully I'll see you guys on stream. Make sure you check out the top 1 sale as well. Code Evan's always running the best deal. I appreciate you guys always tuning back in. Leave a comment and a like down below. I'll see you guys on stream tomorrow morning.